Hi, in this video, we will see what is constructor in Java. Okay, so constructor is a block of code that initializes the newly created object. Okay, it's a block of code that initializes the newly created object. Constructor is a special type of method. So it is very similar to a method, but it has some differences when you compare with the method that we will see. But and the high level, if you want to say, constructor is also a type of method. Okay, constructor is called when an instance of object is created and memory is allocated for that object. Okay, to call the constructor, no need to call explicitly. Okay, that we will see. When an object is created using new keyword, then at least one constructor is called, that is called default constructor. So the moment when you create an object, we have seen in our previous videos that class name, some instance is equal to new class name. So the moment when you create something like that, so the default constructor will be called. Okay, constructor name must be same as its class name. So this is very important, that how you will make sure that I told constructor is also a type of method, but how you differentiate method and constructor. So with this point, constructor name must be same as its class name. So if you use the same class name to a method, that is called a constructor. Okay, so it is something like this: public class sample. So inside I have created a method. That method name is also same as class. So this is called constructor. You'll have a block of code inside this. Okay, so types of constructors, we have few types of constructors. What is the default constructor, no argument constructor, parameterized constructor? Okay, these three constructors we will discuss in detail in our upcoming videos. So what is default constructor? If you do not implement any constructor in your class, means you did not create any constructor, then Java compiler inserts a default constructor. So if you did not create that method, okay, constructor, even though Java compiler inserts a default constructor, you would not find it in your source code, as it would be inserted into the code during compilation and exists in compilation file. Okay, so means you cannot see in your code where is the constructor. If somebody asks, you cannot show that. But the moment when it compiles, it by default it creates a default constructor. Okay, what is no argument constructor? Constructor with no arguments is known as no arg constructor. The same way in the method also we have method with arguments, right? Parameterized methods we have seen. Okay, so the same way constructor will also accept some arguments. The signature is same as default constructor. However, sorry, this is no arguments, right? You cannot, it will not have any arguments. Okay, it is plain method. Okay, that we have seen in our one of our previous videos called simple method. Okay, it is very similar to that simple method. So this is no arg constructor. So the signature is same as default constructor. However, body can have any code unlike default constructor, where the body of the constructor is empty. So in the default constructor, you cannot even see where the constructor is. You did not even wrote that. Okay, but here you will write a method constructor. Inside that you will have some code, but for the method it will not have any arguments. Okay, so this is parameterized constructor, means it will have some arguments. Constructor with arguments or parameters is known as parameterized constructor. Apart from this, other properties are same as before. The name should be same as your class name. Okay, so and it will have some parameters. So each and everything, default, no arg constructor, parameterized constructor, we will discuss in detail in our upcoming videos. So here I have made a difference between constructor and method. Okay, so then it will be very clear for you. So constructor is special type of methods to initialize the objects of a class. So to initialize the object of the class, you will use constructor. Okay, if you say class name cn is equals to new class name, right? You will create an instance to class something. This is constructor. Okay, so special type of methods to initialize the object of a class. Coming to the method, set of statements that are invoked at any point in a program to return the results. So method, you can create any number of methods, any type of methods, right? Whenever you want. Purpose of create a constructor is to create an instance of a call. So the purpose of creating is to call. Purpose of method is to execute the block of code. Here also, you can execute the block of code, but you have the main purpose is to create an instance of call. These are called implicitly and immediately. So these are called when these are called in the implicitly, immediately upon creation of the object. So if you want to call a constructor, normally how you will call method? Object dot method, right? We have seen something like this. But if it is a constructor, no need to call explicitly cn dot that class name. No need to call something like this. Okay, this is not needed. For method, you need to explicitly call. Okay, they can be called directly with or without even creating an instance of the class. Right. So with the instance means something like this. If it is static method, with the class name, right? Both the ways. Here, name of the constructor must be same as the class name. Okay, methods can have arbitrary names. Your own name you can put whatever name you want, but you should give some relevant names. It doesn't have any return type, but needs a valid return type, at least void, right? You will have void, integer, boolean, all primitive and non-primitive, right? So anything, but here you will not have a return type. Cannot be inherited by subclasses. So inheritance we will discuss in our upcoming classes, but cannot be inherited by subclasses. Can be inherited by subclasses. Okay, these are all the basic difference between a constructor and a method. With the help of some code, means examples, you'll come to know each and everything in detail. Okay, let me clear this. Okay. Now, so what could be the possible interview questions from this? So people may ask, what is constructor? Very important. So can you tell me how many types of constructors are there? So what is default constructor? What is no or constructor? What is parameterized constructor? Difference between method and constructor, and difference between default, no argument, parameterized constructor. So these kind of questions you may face. Okay. So that's all in this video. Thank you.